Greetings, instructors. Always helps to unmute yourself. Greetings all. I wanted to make a quick video to show you some of the tools that you can use in teaching your classes. So to jump right in, as you go into Zoom, one of the most useful things for you will be the security feature here. First of all, I suggest that you full screen. Right. That's one way to make sure that you can see everybody clearly and get as many students on the screen at the same time as possible. But the security feature, what it allows you to do is the preset settings when you join the class and we make you a co-host, is that they'll be set like this. The only thing that will be clicked is the ability of the students to rename themselves. Now, if you would like to give them the ability to chat and you want to manage that while you are teaching, you can click that. I would suggest that you do not use the chat, but rather have a question and answer time. And then the students can raise their hand. If they go under participants, they'll be able to raise their hand. So I would leave that off, but those of you who are good with managing chat in addition to managing what's in the class, then you're free to do that. The other one that you can do when you get into a question and answer time, or if you're asking the class a question and you would like feedback, you can click this option and you would allow the students to unmute themselves when they speak and remute themselves when they are done speaking. So that's two options that you will be able to control as a co-host. You are also allowed to share your screen, but the students are not. If for some reason you want them to be able to share their screen, you'll click the share screen and then any of the students would be able to do that. Again, unless you have a need, I would not change those settings. The waiting room, you'll notice, is not enabled, and the reason for that is the setting that we have it on is anybody with a Rock Church email or a Rock Bible College email will be able to join automatically, and only those without those emails will enter the waiting room. So then they'll be manually added to the class. So if our students are using their Rock Bible College email, they'll be able to join with no problem. So those are some of the features that you'll need to manage the class. I wanted to also show you over here, if you go to the settings, and that's this green shield with the check mark, the settings options will pop up. And when they pop up, there's some things that you can adjust. So for example, on the video, you can do a mirror my video, which I find really helpful. So right now, if I raise my right hand on the screen, it's my left hand. So if I'm trying to point at the screen, it's backwards. But if I do mirror my video and I raise my right hand, then it comes out on the right side and I can actually see what it is that I'm doing. So you can check both of those settings and see which one you happen to find most useful for you. Touch up my appearance. I always use that. I don't have it on right now. I left it off for you, but there you go. Look at everything looks much better. So you can put that's a sliding scale, and if you go all the way, it gets a little blurry, but I like to use that. So there you go, and you can also adjust for light in the room. You can have that on auto adjustment for light, or you can manually adjust it. So those are some options that you can use. Everything else on my settings, I leave them all clicked. I don't find any need to uncheck those. Audio, this is where you can go to test your speaker and to test your microphone, and we'd like you to do that before class, a couple of hours like we talked about in the meeting, to make sure that everything is working correctly. Share screen. So when on my share screen settings, I have the first one, I don't have that clicked, but I have the next three, and I don't use side-by-side mode, but you can use side-by-side mode, which will put the Zoom meeting on one side of your screen, and it will put the shared screen on the other side. So if you have a larger screen, that may is something that you may want to do. And I always click silent system notifications so that you're not getting notifications from your email or text messages or things like that on your computer while you are teaching the class. The chat, the settings are controlled in the meeting. I wanted to show you background and filters. For those of you who want to use a virtual background, here's where you go. There's some built-in options, right? You could be in San Francisco, or you could be, I don't know, I guess this is an insect in the grass or an astronaut. But I also, I uploaded the image of a background of our logo, which I don't like so much. But I also have some options here with TRBC if you want to use a virtual background. It's a little bit weird with the shading. but that may be something that you want to do, and there's a gray one, a black one. So if you want to use any of those, I can send you those, and all you do is go to this little button right here, and you click Add Image, and you can add any background you want from your collection of photos. You can also add a video. Some of these are video backgrounds with the Aurora Borealis. So if you needed a background, you could add one using that particular feature. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to show you on this, but what I did want to show you is when you go to share screen, I don't like this background though, so I want to change that quickly. When you go to, I'll pick one of these, share screen, they have a new beta feature that I noticed, and it's under advanced, and it slides as a virtual background. If you click that option and you're sharing a PowerPoint, which I know a lot of you are, you can go to whatever PowerPoint you're looking for. So I'll go to Drive, and I will look for a PowerPoint. Oh, sorry, right here, Google Drive. And I'll look for a PowerPoint on my Drive. PowerPoint. And here's the PowerPoint from our faculty meeting. So if I open that up, it's preparing the slide. Notice that I'm still in the bottom of the screen because I'm using a virtual background. If you're not using a virtual background, then it would have a square with you in it. And you can simply click through, and all of this will be part of the recording. You can talk and teach about each of your slides using this method. So this is a beta program that I noticed they've added to Zoom, and you could use that. So just a reminder, we do have the Zoom practice session. If you want to log in, make sure everything's working okay, and ask any questions. On Thursday, that will be tomorrow, which might be when you're watching this because it's late Wednesday night after service right now. At 8 o'clock, here's your meeting ID and your password. So let me go ahead and stop share here, and I'm sure you have some other questions which we can address together on the Zoom training Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Okay. Thank you all for all you do. Let me go ahead and end this.